Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I have a real potpourri of places that I'd like to take you along with me to. Keep watching as I'm going to have a Dooney and Bourke unboxing later on in this vlog. So the first place I'd like to take you to is a Japanese convenience store that opened up within walking distance of where I'm located. It's really great to see these little specialty stores opening up in the neighborhood, as it means I don't need to take a streetcar or subway to get to them. So as you can see, this convenience store carries all sorts of interesting Japanese sweets and snacks. They also have a hot meal to go section as well as cold drinks. So I ended up picking up a packet of white peach flavored mochi, and the best way I can describe them as they're quite similar to Turkish delights. They're soft and squidgy, sort of like a very squidgy version of a gummy. So the next place I'd like to take you to is a church rummage sale, also known as a jumble sale. It felt a little weird to be filming inside a church. I don't know why. They had so many things spread out across two floors. They had tons of clothes, toys, books, as well as kitchen appliances. I feel really comfortable going to church rummage sales because I grew up going to them as my family experienced brief periods of great poverty. I did notice that the prices had really gone up post-pandemic. They had volunteers there who were looking up prices on eBay on their phones before telling you how much something was, which was quite disconcerting and really took the fun out of it. Let me know if you've noticed this sort of thing happening too. So this church is located uptown. It's in a little quiet neighborhood off a main busy street, but you would never know it because it really looks like a village in a European city. It has all these really grand churches located there, and some of the houses, you can see an example here. They look like a little country cottage. So it's a really nice neighborhood that I love to visit. And on the high street, I popped into Chapters, which is a national chain bookstore, and they carry a lot of gift items as well as home items. So it's always worth popping in just to see what sort of knickknacks and home decor items that they happen to have, as the selection changes quite frequently, as you can see here. So yeah, it's a really great place for browsing, not just for books, but home decor and home soft furnishings as well. And they even have toiletries as well as like handbags and fashion accessories on top of the usual selection of books. So for a change of pace, I'd like to take you to, surprise, surprise, a grocery store. And this grocery store is called Farm Boy. It's a local grocery store. They pride themselves on putting on offer really fresh, high quality food items. They even have their own name brand products. And the nearest equivalent that I can think of is Stew Leonard's in the United States. I haven't been to a Stew Leonard's in years and years and years, so if you are in the US, please let me know if you've ever heard of Stew Leonard's and if they are still around. Have you ever shopped at a Stew Leonard's? So as you can see, a Farm Boy is a smaller size grocery store. They only carry food items, meaning that they don't carry household items like dish detergent and things like that. So if you're looking for pet food or laundry detergent, you're not going to find it at Farm Boy. So they are really well known for their ready-to-go meals. They're supposed to be really delicious, and they have a really extensive salad and deli section as well. I have found that traditionally Farm Boy prices are a little bit higher than, say, a national grocery store chain, but with inflation basically hitting everything under the sun, I found the prices to be equivalent nowadays. Now I'd like to take you back to Muji. I've taken you along with me to Muji before, but after I finished my studies, I had the great good luck to land some short-term work while I was waiting to graduate, and I was in dire need of some business casual clothing. I don't know about you, but over the years my tastes have changed, and I'm not so eager to get my legs out. I much prefer a more conservative look. So I was on the hunt for business casual clothing that was tasteful and appropriate. And when I say that Muji is a Japanese department store, they really are. As you can see here, they have an extensive luggage section, and that day that I visited, they also had a weekend artist pop-up shop that was selling candles. So back home, you see here two skirts that I picked up while I was at Muji. They are midi length, so they cover up my legs. I don't need to worry about getting my legs out, and they are a very conservative print. So the one on top is a check pattern, and the one behind is a very fine pinstripe. I don't think I've ever taken you up to Bloor Street, and Bloor Street is basically Toronto's Mink Mile, where all the luxury high-end brands are located. And the Royal Ontario Museum is also located on Bloor Street, and that's that big giant glass carbuncle that you see there. So Holt Renfrew, which is a luxury store, is also located up on Bloor Street, and they carry a lot of high-end labels, and I guess the equivalent to Holt Renfrew would be Saks Fifth Avenue. One of the reasons why I wanted to go to Bloor Street is because I heard that Brooksbrothers in Canada was closing down, and because I was on the hunt for work appropriate attire, I decided to pop in and take a look. So as you can see, the discounts are at around 20 to 30% off, which isn't a huge amount, especially if a store is closing down. So I'll probably check back in again in the coming weeks to see if the discounts have gotten any greater, and if there's anything that's appropriate for work and that is in my budget. So now I'd like to take you to another church, and this is a different church from the one that I took you to earlier in this vlog. Every year in Toronto, there's an event called Open Doors Toronto, where all these historic buildings and organizations around town open up their doors to the public for free for 2 days. So I always try to attend and go to this particular church and just go in there and soak up the atmosphere. I feel so joyous and connected when I go inside there. It really has an incredible presence, and they usually put on a recital, and this time they even offered free refreshments like cake, coffee, and tea and biscuits. The only difference was that they had a lot of security in place, which was a little disconcerting. So for another quick change of pace, now I'd like to take you to a plant sale that was going on at a local conservatory. Because I live downtown, it's not easy to get to a plant nursery, so whenever there's a plant sale at that conservatory, I really do try to pop in and take a bit of a browse. I really try to keep an eye out for any exotic, unusual, or different plants. My home has a lot of windows and it gets really hot in the summertime. It's almost like living in a greenhouse. So you'd think I'd have a lot of success with growing plants, but until now, that really hasn't been the case. So now, as promised, here is my Dooney and Bourke unveiling. It's a capacious tote bag that was given to me as a gift for Convocation by a family member. It's such a wonderful size because it's quite large without being too large, if you know what I mean. There are side pockets in the interior, it's lined, and it also has that safety strap. On the bottom there are little feet to protect it. It's so well made, and it will be really wonderful to transition away from my student backpack, which has been glued to my back for the last couple years. And I just absolutely love this tote bag, especially that wonderful floral pattern on the outside. And matching my tote bag are a couple of bouquets of flowers that were sent to me on Convocation by family members and friends. It still hasn't sunk in yet that I'm finally done and that I achieved this milestone. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell. It really helps my channel.